Why cannabis? Cannabis is my destiny. I don't know, it's not me. You have to ask God that question, because every other thing that I have strayed away to, I have always come back here. And sometimes it's not even really by my choice. I come back here because I failed at the other thing, or it just wasn't for me. But cannabis is the future. It's modern day medicine. It's beauty. It's employment opportunity. It's growth. So this is where I've been called to. This is where I am, and this is probably where I'm staying forever. I got into the cannabis industry in 2011, so 9 years ago now. How I first started, I went to Nigeria. They sold us the weed and it was so little and it sucked. And I was like, oh my God, I really should start a weed business here. This was 2011. Mind you, at that time I was how old? 18? I started planning, actually. Only a few of my friends actually know this. But I started planning, and then it just got to a point where I discovered that trying to start a business in Nigeria was going to be so difficult, and I was looking for investors. The crazy thing is that I was looking for investors then for what I am now working on, which is about 9, almost 10 years later. So when I found an investor and he's like, you know what, why do you want to take our money to Nigeria? Why don't you just do it here? You know, you make more money, less stress, blah, 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 talk. And I'm like, you know what? You might be right. So I completely deserted Nigeria. I started to learn a lot more about cannabis. And I left the idea alone for a little bit. Although that idea started in 2011, I ended up exploring a lot of other things along the way. I mean, I sold my first hair business. I know I had like a hair vendor list and everything that I sold. I think it's for like $4,000 or something. But yeah, I ended up stumbling into the entertainment industry. I went on a date once, and at the beginning of the date, I think that guy just wanted to smash. When we walked in, I think he didn't know what to expect from me, you know, because I don't really talk much. I never really used to talk much. So when you see me, you just like be like, oh, I'm gonna shake the theory. That means if I don't mind. But when we got on the date, the way I was talking, he just like kept looking at me. He's like, yo, you should really come to this show that we're having. You should really come, and I think you'd be a good fit. And I said, I don't know about being on camera and being on TV or being on any platform. Like, I swear a lot and my mouth is like really not it sometimes. And he was like, you know what? That's exactly what we need. You do great. So I got there, and once I stood in front of the camera, the guy was like, oh, wow, you have to do this. So I dabbled in the entertainment industry for a little bit. I tried to be the voice of Afrobeats in New York City, but somewhere along the line, I realized the entertainment industry really wasn't for me. I think entertainers don't get enough credit because there's a lot of work that goes into the entertainment industry. There's a lot of spending money without actually making anything that goes into the entertainment industry. There's a lot of begging, and there's a lot of, you know. And after I was in that industry for a little bit, I realized that it really wasn't me. And the kind of money they were making was not even enticing me. I don't know what the entertainment industry is now anymore, but at the time that I dabbled in being a media personality, it really was not for me. And then every time I would be in front of the camera and I get super passionate and I swear or I say something out of place, I just remember it'd be like, you can't say that. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. They'd be like, yeah, you can't say that as well. And I'm like, okay, maybe me being on camera wasn't the best option for me. After that, I just decided, you know what? Let's go to California and let's do this. I tried to build something and I failed only for me to realize now that the reason why I failed is because cannabis is my destiny. But it was not my destiny because of money. And I was chasing money the first time I was actually in this industry. Now, I don't really care about money anymore. Like, when I'm doing things is for the movement, for the greater good, for the greater growth. And if you know me personally, you know my goal is to have at least 100,000 employees and be a billionaire in dollars. My looks don't even really play a factor in my everyday life, if that makes sense, or in my business, or in my work. Like, it's so crazy. Anyways, why am I on social media now? Why am I being more active now? Being in the cannabis industry, not being able to advertise, not knowing where it was going, not really having a lot of money to start up, where you can't really stamp your name on stuff for people to know that this is you. It's just easier to just keep your mouth shut. It's kind of frustrating, and unfortunately for me, my calling in life is illegal in Nigeria, even if most of it is legal here. That was kind of a huge major roadblock for me to express myself. I believe and I look at my life as a book, because everything is in chapters, everything has its time, and I just have to take it phase by phase until I'm at the end of my book.